That's all right.
She wouldn't let me buy it. She goes, well, everybody that drives one of those is old.
Well, that's probably true. Do you ever go out to Carlisle for that show?
No, I have a friend who's in the vets, like, he has like a bunch of parts and all, and he goes every year.
That's actually, it's in about another 2 weeks.
They'll have one there.
It's huge. I mean, I've been out there. I've been out there a number of times. That's where I got my car.
Good morning.
Ola from CCAP.
Ola from CCAP.
I've got to tell you, it's very difficult to hear people this way, Mark.
Yeah. We like to just be prepared.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody ready?
Are you still? It's going to be really hard to hear, I can tell you that right now.
We hear you, Lori.
We hear you. All right, good morning. Welcome to the Northampton County General Purpose Authority meeting today, August 6th. Mark, would you please call roll?
Mr. Anthony?
Here.
Mr. Derdinger?
Here.
Mr. Pinnabone? Absent. Mr. Kraft?
Present.
Ms. Hefner?
Here.
Mr. Donchez?
Here.
Ms. Baum? Absent. And staff, Tina Smith, Mark Hartney, and Sarah Ortiz, and Solicitor Freund.
Thank you, Mark. Everybody should have received the packet of minutes. Everybody have a chance to review those.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Thank you, Charles. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Kenny. All those in favor say aye.
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 I will abstain since I missed the last meeting. Okay. Public comment. Mr. Young? Good morning.
Good morning. Actually, I'm not entirely sure I'm at the right meeting.
Welcome. There are times we feel like that ourselves.
You make some comments anyway.
That's all right.
I feel like that quite often. I'm Glendon Borough Council President, and
Sure.
I was told that they were going to be discussing the...
You are at the
Glendon
correct
Hotel.
meeting.
Oh, I am at the correct meeting.
You
okay. We just, honestly, we wanted to kind of get an update as to what's going on and be able to have a little bit of input since it is our community and it's going to obviously affect us directly. But I didn't see it on your agenda. That's why I thought maybe I was at the wrong meeting.
No, you're here. You're good.
Okay. All right.
So I'm sorry, just you don't have any comments on it? You're just here to...
Well, the borough does have some concerns
Okay,
as
so,
to...
right.
What's that?
So right now is the time for public comment.
Okay. I mean, the borough does have some concerns as to the direction that we're hearing it's going. I mean, unfortunately, we weren't even invited to the last meeting, so we had no idea anything. We were getting calls from every media source around asking for comments about a meeting that we didn't even know took place until they started asking us about it.
Just so you feel a little bit better, there was nothing for anyone to really comment last time, which is really why there wasn't such a wide comment from the GPA. It was just a matter of us considering whether or not there was a possibility that something could be done with that.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, to that extent, right now all we're discussing is, at that time, we were hiring an engineering firm to see what your existing saldo and zoning were, to see what is possible to be done with that, if there's a better public use that could be applied, or if it's just an unfortunate circumstance. So,
okay. I mean, unfortunately, we have obviously looked at that because we've been tilling at this particular windmill for the last couple of years, trying to get something done, originally by the property owner, and then once the county took it over, you know, well,
Okay.
once it went into the county repository,
there you go.
you know, trying to figure out what all could be done with this building. Obviously, we'd like to see something done with it because it is in deteriorating condition. I mean, it is a historical building. Why it's not exactly on the historical register, I'm not sure, considering it dates back to 1740. I mean, it predates the dawn of our country. And there is, you know, some history to the building. I mean, just based on its age, it's one of the oldest ones in the county. I mean, how many buildings do we have that date back to 1740? And it was a public use building because it was a tavern, which, as you probably well know, there was many meetings held and things at many of the local taverns. That was the gathering house of its time for, you know, public comment and public opinion. Like I said, we would love to see something done with the building. I mean, one of the things we're hearing, again, unfortunately, so far what we've gotten is rumors through the rumor mill, is low-income housing. That really doesn't help our community very much, to be honest with you. The tax revenue from that is nominal. The strain on resources is higher. We have no police force. You know, we're dependent upon state police for any kind of enforcement. We're still having problems enforcing local zoning ordinances because we don't have a police force. So we'd really like to see it go to a better use if, you know, if indeed you're going in the direction of tearing it down and putting something else in there. I can tell you that based on our current zoning and setbacks and things like that, if you tear the building down, there's not a lot can be built on there, mostly because of the topography. While the property itself is fairly large, the usable portion of it is extremely small, and the hillside that abuts to is pretty much solid stone. And I have a feeling that's why most of those homes down there only go back as far as they do. Like I said, the topography just doesn't allow for a deeper building because our setbacks from the road are 25 feet. Right now that sits about 10 feet back. So if you take another 15 feet off that building, it's going to be maybe 20 feet deep and however wide by however tall you would make it. We do have height restrictions of 35 feet, you know, and honestly anything taller than that really wouldn't fit in amongst all the other properties in the neighborhood. I mean, at this point, at this time, that's pretty much all I have then.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Any other comments? Thank you.
The grist mill owner just came in. I don't know if she wants to make a public comment.
Who?
Did you want to offer a public comment?
I suppose I do. I'm sorry I'm late.
This is that time, so you're just in time.
Yep, just made it.
In time. Well, look, I want to apply for a bridge job. Because I see that they don't work, and because of this lovely bridge, I need a new position of a job because my grist mill has totally gone down the hill here because no one shows up. So I think I'd be a perfect person to work for the bridge. What do you think? I mean, I think it's great. You get to sit around. Oh, hi, I've asked you to come and talk to us a little bit. I can sit around, I can collect money, and never show up for work. It's perfect. So that's I just want to say, you guys, I don't know who's responsible for what, but we're dying a slow death. I mean, I'm a little nervous, I'm sorry, but maybe the position's got me a little rattled. But I don't know what I'm supposed to say other than the fact it's a downright shame what has happened to the Bushkill Creek. The businesses, it's sad. It's just utterly sad and disgusting. And I know there's nothing I can do about the bridge, but I ask that they take down my fencing that has utilized my entire parking lot. It's dangerous. We're on the walking trail. Kids come out to shop with their parents. I do paint parties there. Last week it was a shambles. Cars were pulling out. I had to go out to direct the traffic so we had a spot to park. We have a walking trail. It's gorgeous. You should come down and see what has happened to it. We take the time to groom the path. We make it a beautiful place, and it's a shambles. It's disgusting. Sad. And it's not just me who's affected by it. Every area you go that the bridge has started, it's just disgusting. How can Northampton even hold their head proud and say this is our county? It's So I applied for the chief position of the bridge. I don't know what else to say. What am I supposed to say? I do have a question, whoever needs to direct this whole thing. We were given an easement, a very tiny easement, for our property to be utilized. I've gone through the contract we signed. I see nothing on there that says, they promised us 2 to 3 months they would utilize our property. We're going on what, 5, 6? It's an issue. Now, Mr. Dertinger told me that in October, no one is allowed back into the creek because of...
Street restrictions.
So our busy time is September through December. So I'd like that fencing, which holds nothing except overgrown. It's sad to the town. It's overgrown. We don't keep our property like that. The fence is up there for no purpose other than to corral off an outhouse that the entire now walking trail uses because no men show up to work, hence my position. Anyways, I have the contract with me and everything I read, and I know I spoke to you about it, but if we read the entire contract, it says, not me, am I reliable, that I have to keep that fence up. It says that the bridge people have a year to put my property back the way they found it. It doesn't say I have to keep that fence up. If there's nothing there, then either I need more money or I say come September when I reopen, because I had to close now. It's so sad. And please come down and see the grist mill. It's gorgeous. Truly it is. It's an old building in Tatamy that is preserved from the 1800s. I don't have that building from me. I give it back to the town. I don't want to work anymore. It's a hard job. But I have kid parties there. We do benefits for people that need money. It's not about me. It's about the town. We need the bridge back. But at least I need the fence down.
What's your name again?
Excuse me?
What's your name again?
Jan Delby. I'm sorry, I'm getting all worked up again.
Delby.
Delby, D-E-L-B-Y. Me and Mel Bauman own the grist mill. We bought it 6 years ago. And it's a pride. It's a gorgeous place. It's one of Northampton's finest. We were just in the morning call. It's one of the best places to go in the Lehigh Valley. You need to hold your head proud and treasure these things. Not rip down a bridge that's half done. The ducks are stuck in the god-awful. It's so sad. Come see it. Ripped it. It's like a bomb got dropped off. The whole town is sad. The whole town was supposed to be here, but they didn't show up. What else can I say? Position? Sorry about my language. I just had a sale last week before I closed, and it was called the Bridge Stink Sale. But I wanted to use other words. We gave away free pancakes because the Farm Bureau, who went out of business, they might have been the smart ones to leave last year, but they used to do a pancake supper for the farmers because the farmers supported them. So we took it upon ourselves to do a pancake breakfast for the people who support us and the town. We had a wonderful turnout. Did I sell a lot? Nah. But it wasn't about me. It was about the people. The ducks. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. All right, Mark, item 4.0, the YMCA bond issuance.
Yes, and before we, let me give a little background on this. This issuance was initially slated to be done by the Northampton County Industrial Development Authority, and at their last meeting, they had passed an inducement approval resolution, but their bond counsel determined that they were ineligible to float the bonds because they are tied to the county, and the county issued bonds earlier this year. And because this is a bank qualified deal, there's a $10 million cap on bank qualified funds. It's limited to small issuers. With that, we started exploring other options, and the General Purpose Authority isn't tied to the county, and this is due to how the boards are appointed. Is one of the main determining factors. There's a bunch of different factors. And so it was determined that we could issue the bonds. One of the concerns was when you do a bank qualified deal, you have that $10 million cap. So if a larger institution came in, say St. Luke's, wanted to do something that was more than $10 million, there was a concern that that would make, if we did the Y deal for $5 million, that could negate their bank qualified status. What Solicitor Freund advised us was that as long as we didn't know of any other deals, and in the beginning of the year, I asked people, do you anticipate doing any financings? All of the people that we normally work with said no, not this year. That we were okay, and if something came in say November after this deal closed, we could still do it because we didn't know about it. Fast forward to yesterday, I received an email from Morningstar. Or actually, I don't want to say who until they come forward and make it a public thing, but anyway, they were looking to issue $30 to $35 million worth of bonds. We think we can kick that back to the Industrial Development Authority because it's not a bank qualified deal. They can do it, and the proposal would be that everybody just share all the fees. So we'll split fees on the Y deal with the IDA, and the IDA would split the fees for the Morningstar, or for the other.
All right, let the record show
Entity.
that none of us should still rob any banks with Mark.
With the other entity that.
I now know the worst way to keep a secret.
Yep.
So I wanted to give that background.
Background, sure. Appreciate that.
Before you decided on this deal. With that, I'd like to introduce David Fagerstrom from the YMCA to give an overview of the project that we would be considering the bank qualified financing for.
Morning, everybody. I'm Dave Fagerstrom. I'm the president and CEO of the Greater Valley YMCA. Morning.
Hi, Dave.
We would ask the authority to look favorably upon our proposal and our project. So the project is to add a gymnasium, a 6-lane indoor swimming pool, and a preschool and child care wing onto the existing Slate Belt YMCA. So I won't go into the whole history of Slate Belt branch YMCA, but there was, before the Y got involved about 10 years ago, there was about 70 years of effort to try to get some kind of community center up in the Slate Belt. And different people from different generations had tried, and they'd all failed. So prior to my time here at the Y, volunteers at the Y were contacted, and there was a land donation, a building donation, some major gifts from the Commonwealth and private individuals, and they wound up building the beginning of YMCA up there. So right now they've got kind of the base of Y. What they don't have is a gymnasium and a pool and a child care center, which are big pieces to what that community really needs. It's located in Parnargel, but it serves the whole Slate Belt, Bangor, Wind Gap, everywhere up there. So this is the realization of a dream the community has had for decades to get this whole thing up there. The Ys in the valley over the last decade have all come together, all 6 Ys that used to be independent are all together. And so that gives financial stability for efforts like this. So whereas generally speaking, an independent Y could maybe never make it up there, and that's why there's never been a community center. Now that they're all part of one, real big Y that's under one big umbrella, the Y in general here in the Valley can support something that's in a more rural location, and that's why the Y is a nonprofit organization. So I'll answer any questions, but other than that, that's basically the project in a nutshell. We already have a general contractor lined up. We have the architect of record lined up. We have the bank ready to do this financing with this project's blessing through this group. So we're ready to go. We will break ground. We had a ceremony here about a month ago. We're looking to start in September, and we'll be done in a year. All that will be done. So the majority of this funding came from a casino grant that the YMCA, the volunteers did with Marsha Hahn. So I got to give her props if it's any kind of public, record. So I'd answer any questions anybody might have. If not, thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
So in front of you, you have a resolution 2019-14. The resolution has been was prepared by bond counsel and reviewed by Solicitor Freund, and is in good order.
Any questions on this?
No.
No?
I could add, I've actually was at the groundbreaking last week, and some of my community involvement in Hawaii over the decades, the leadership that Dave has shown and pulling the Ys together. This is a really important program for that region. I mean, to bring child care to it, to bring a pool and a gym for senior citizens, and a mission of what the Y is doing today. It's not about just working out there. It's really about going out to the community and try to reach out and make a difference. And it's really pretty exciting that it's going to be going up in that region.
Good. All right, Mark. So what part of this do we need to read? Not we.
It's part of the agenda. You really don't get to read it.
Okay, we don't need to put it, the whereases and all that into the record?
I think the motion would be to approve the resolution as presented.
So, thank you, Ann, for making that motion. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Rod. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Treasurer's report.
We have the July 31st Treasury report in front of you. The GPA balance sheet, you'll see we have cash and cash equivalent assets of $1,367,000 and change. The receivables are lines outstanding and funds are $436,000. Our beginning fund balance was $1,280,000, and further down there under the box, you'll see we actually have a net gain, which will show on the income statement of $174,447.58 to date. Liabilities are the notes payable at $350,000, which then gives us total liabilities and a fund balance of $1,804,000. If we go to the second page, this is the income statement for the GPA general fund. Year to date, always the actual column for July 31st, you'll see total revenues of $288,375. You go down to the column, the total expenditures of $113,927. You'll see the year to date for the audit services, engineering, and the special legal services as probably the highlights there. And again, year to date, we're showing a net gain balance of $174,447.58. And then the capital projects account, you'll just see year to date on the actual two, we were showing revenues of $1,199,000, and we always offset that. The one thing you will notice there is the P3 milestone payment is showing of the $926,935 as the significant addition through year to date. And that's about it. Any questions?
I don't have any. Any questions on that? All right. I need a motion to approve the report, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Lori. Second. Thank you, Ken. Any questions on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Invoices for payment.
In your packet are the invoices for payment. We have King Spry for a total of $4,935.51. Watt Teeter, $5,087. And Civitas Reggio, who is doing the Glendon Hotel limited site reuse study, for $3,750. And the supporting documentation is attached.
See it. Any questions on the invoices for payment?
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of these invoices.
Thank you, Charles. I need a second.
I'll second.
Second.
Thank you, Ron. Any questions on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. And Mark, we also have a packet in here for invoices paid to date.
Correct.
That's just
That's just general
information-
knowledge,
Informational
running
only.
list.
Right, no action needed. All right, thank you. The budget transfer process.
Yeah, this was just a general question for the board. Since we've adopted the budget, especially with professional services, we've been exceeding the professional services that was budgeted. And I just wanted to check with you to make sure you didn't want some formal process to transfer funds from the contingency fund to the specific line items. Fiscal was asking, we have a very formalized process within the county, or is the approval of the invoices sufficient?
My opinion is, I'm not sure, the rest of the board.
Yeah, I would think the
Okay.
approval of the invoices speaks to that.
Right.
Yeah, I agree too.
Okay. We just wanted to have that documented.
That's
I
fine.
figured. Thank you.
Next item is the executive session, and we're going to executive session to discuss potential litigation. The time is 8:43.
Disconnect her from here and
I can call her.
Take me with you.
I'm not going to disconnect, Lori. Mark, you're going to have to do it. Thank you.
Commissioners Association. We're county commissioners.
So it's like the Professional Association of County Commissioners.
County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania.
Having it in Reading? First time they had it in Reading.
The new double tree.
Between the bullets.
Hi, Lori, you're on speaker.
All right, ready? All right, I'll call the meeting back to order. It is now 9:12. Next item on the agenda is the bridge update. Greg?
How's it going, everybody? Sorry I couldn't make the last meeting. I had a scheduled vacation, so but I'll go through some of the updates that we've had in the past month.
I'm sorry, did you just say you were sorry you were on vacation?
I was sorry I wasn't here.
Is there anyone here who believes that? I can't tell.
So does everybody have an update? Do they have the update in the
Yes.
status report in the spreadsheet?
Can you just reach forward and see if that mic's on?
I'll speak a little closer. Yeah,
Now
sure.
it's on.
So as far as the DEP permits, we have received all the permits from DEP for all 18 bridges, so we have those. Regarding final construction plans, all of them have been approved or approved as noted for 19 bridges. The right-of-way, we've received signed documents for all 30 parcels for the next round of bridges. Regarding utilities, Mike and I have spent quite a bit of time in the past, I'd say, since I've seen you last with utilities, coordination between PPL, Verizon, MedEd, Service Electric, RCN, Frontier. They've all been moving. It's been, not as quick as we'd hope, but they have been moving. PPL has completed the initial relocation of all their 2019 bridges. Verizon as well has started some pole relocations. They haven't completed all of them yet, but they have some of them complete, as well as Frontier and MedEd and Service Electric. So it's just been daily coordination pretty much with the utility.
If I could just stop you there, and you and excuse me, the Public Works Director have been working with the utilities to get these relocated?
That's correct.
And by contract, whose responsibility is that?
Well, it depends. I mean, the way it's my opinion is. I mean, it seems like it would be the developers. That's it's more for John to speak of. But
Yeah, in all of our conversations, it has been discussed or listed as the responsibility of the developer, since Benish is really just supposed to be a third-party overseer to make sure that this project is being done correctly and to ensure that we're getting bridge designs that are appropriate to the locations. And as it stands now, the county, who was previous to this excluded from any discussion about this, it is the county's Public Works Director and our third-party engineer that's getting this part of it done. And, although we do appreciate everything you're doing there, it is worth noting that they're doing a lot more work than would otherwise be part of their responsibility.
yeah, and any typical construction job, working with utilities is a lot of coordination.
This isn't the first time that there was a problem working with utilities on a bridge recon?
No,
It's done.
The next update I have is the construction update. So Bridge 143, Krieger was back on site on July 18th. They reset the cofferdam for the next stage, and they have not been working back at that bridge since.
And that bridge became available to them in,
It was available in June.
so they took a month to
Can you
get there?
speak up just a little bit? It's very hard to hear him.
Yep, I'll get closer to the mic. Sorry, Lori. And Bridge 63, they've been working 1 to 2 days a week. What we've been told. They've been working on abutment 2, which is excavating the rock to get down to the bottom of footing, and that's currently where they're at right now. I just got a message from Krieger, and they said they'll be out there today as well, working on the project. I did ask them to place a sign that the grist mill is open, and I was told today that sign is up. I will go to verify that.
I will verify it. It says Somerset Nursery is now open. Thank you.
Holy crap.
Isn't that perfect?
They put the Somerset Nursery. They put the example that they sent for it, not what it should actually say. I think that really might speak to the competence of the people we're dealing with here.
You could change the name of your business to Somerset. Probably be quicker.
And I'm sorry, just to interrupt that, because while we're talking about that, I had the opportunity and the circumstance to meet with all of Tatamy for a town hall. It would appear as though Mayor Chris of Tatamy had been being inundated regularly by questions from folks, because Tatamy has already been subject to a major bridge project when they redid the other bridge in Tatamy. This bridge kind of comes on those heels, and aside from affecting the grist mill, which I've met with Jen and Mel a number of times there, there's also a festival that comes up in October as well there, where people park on Bushkill Drive and walk across the bridge that is presently missing. We spent about 2 hours with the community discussing the different concerns and problems there is, although the Farm Bureau did, after 90 years, close its doors. There is another business moving into the Farm Bureau's facility, and they're anticipating being there later this year, so they too would need the bridge to be completed. In each event that we've been there, there's not just the fence in the grist mill's parking lot, but there's also been relocated poles that affect their parking, as well as some of the things they're storing there are seemingly not necessary for this bridge, but just are there, really infringing on what needs to be there. One of the elements that were brought up during the meeting is there is a phenomenal walking trail there, maybe 100 feet away, 150 feet away from where the construction fence is, and to call it a fence would be overstating what everyone's mind here would be a fence. It's really just plastic fencing that's kind of tacked to things, and to the larger extent that was made in reference to, Ms. Delvey made in reference to folks using the porta potty there. They can do that because it doesn't take Houdini to get through that fence. It's not really blocking anything, and the fences on their equipment or their temporary facility is on the other side of that. And the only benefit this project is serving to the community is to provide a temporary bathroom along the walking path. Other than that, it really has gone on much longer. I am there literally weekly, and most weeks a couple of times during the week, documenting or taking pictures when I'm there to see where we are. One of their larger concerns has been the water height has been high, and we now know that has not been the case. So there's really no reason. And there are other bridges being built in the Lehigh Valley at the same time. So it appears everyone else, when they have a high water situation, just pumps the water out of their cofferdams. We've been stopped and flummoxed here. This bridge started on April 14th? 13th. And has gone on for
4 months.
Did they give you, I know they're out there a couple days a week. Why aren't they out there every day? And did they give you a sense when they will be finished?
Yeah, they told us they'd be done by the end of September. That's what we received about a week ago.
End of September?
Correct.
This in 2019?
That's correct.
Okay. That would confirm the year.
And Greg, so right now, the next item is, right now, there's only 3 bridges under construction for 19?
Projected, there's only 2 bridges under construction.
Well,
for 19
technically,
right now.
yeah, technically 143 and 63 are in construction. There's some that haven't offered final acceptance yet, so I'm still calling them in construction as well. But we've given them the notice to proceed on 3 others, which is 184, 119, and 207.
Right, but right now, though, there's only 3 under construction.
Two
under construction.
Technically 2.
So
yes.
2 under construction, and they're there couple days, I think a couple days a week at 63.
Correct.
We're also into the 8th month of the year, and bridges from last year are not at a point of final acceptance for us, which would include Bridge 66.
66, 189, 191.
3 other things.
And note too that many of the stream restrictions starting on October 1st.
Is that all streams or just certain streams?
It's certain ones, it's not all.
Just certain ones, okay.
Yeah, each bridge has a different restriction based on the Fish and Boat Commission requirements. Regarding, also I haven't heard about the credit letter and negotiations are still ongoing with regards to the change orders and milestone payments. That's all I have in my report.
Any other further questions for Greg? All right, thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is the resolution for insurance services. Mark, you want to review that with us, please?
A review committee consisting of Charles, Paul, and Lori met to review the proposals that we received. We had 5 different proposals. The committee narrowed the proposals down to 2 firms that they brought in for interviews, and based on the interviews, Alliant was the clear winner. They kind of have a whole division dedicated to public entities, public authorities. They had a lot of experience in this regard. So the recommendation from the committee is to select Alliant Insurance Services, Inc. To be the GPA insurance broker, and they will then go out and solicit quotes for us for next year for our insurance. And they would be replacing RMG Insurance, who is our current broker. The other thing that this will do, we did have one other policy kind of outside of the P3 bridge policy, that all of our insurance needs will be consolidated under this broker.
All right, Mark, and you have a resolution then to approving the selection?
Yes.
All right. Everybody have a chance to review that? And also their proposal? Of course. All right. Any questions on this?
I did have a question.
Sure.
So, Mark, I'm sorry I couldn't be part of the committee, but I noticed they're based in Jersey. Do they have an office in Northampton County?
They
and
do
not. Were there not any qualified brokers within our county service area?
If I recall correctly, there were 3 other brokers that were from the county, but our review and analysis, they really didn't seem to have the network. One basically said when they went out, they were able to find one provider, and that was, so there was no market for us to kind of choose from, so we didn't really like that. The other had a national bandwidth, but didn't really seem to have specific experience in working with an authority. So I think if the tiebreaker would have been, are you located here or not, we would have chosen a firm that was located in Northampton County. But it was clear this firm was head and shoulders above the others as far as what we're looking for this insurance need.
Okay, thank you.
I need a motion to approve the resolution. Thank you, Ken. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ron. Any questions on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you. Next item I see, Mark, is the auditing services. We need to put an RFP out for that?
Correct. It's time for us to look for audit services. Last year, we did a one-year kind of re-up where we got quotes from 2 firms, but this would be, a full RFP, and we'd be looking to secure the services of an auditor for the next 3 to 5 years.
All right. So really, all you're looking for is us to approve
Yeah, so...
the release of the RFP.
Right, and we would do that in conjunction through the county's
Sure.
purchasing.
Absolutely. Okay.
So I make
Need a
that
motion?
motion.
Thank you, Lori.
Second?
Thank you, Ann. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, Mark, next item is just the little bit of review of the Glendon Hotel.
Yeah, let me see here. So I just received what I'll call the draft final report yesterday, so I haven't been able to go through it entirely. But basically, the most likely redevelopment scenario would be townhomes on that site. There are 2 significant issues that are driving the reuse of that site. One is steep slopes, and the other, there is a med-ed transmission power line easement that runs through the property. There's like a 50-foot right-of-way. It's not on the deed for the Glendon Hotel property, but it is on, there are 2 parcels associated with this site. One of them was bought at tax sale. A smaller parcel, we'll say like a quarter of an acre. The easement is listed on that deed, but it comes over into the Glendon Hotel parcel. So, and actually the majority of the easement is on the Glendon Hotel parcel. So they're trying to coordinate with Med-Ed to kind of confirm what that easement is, and if there are any additional restrictions other than the 50-foot right-of-way that they've identified. Basically, they've come up with 3 options. One of the options would be the development of 7 townhomes, and they think to basically get the site pad ready would be a cost of about $205,000. And then if we have to comply with a steep slope ordinance, which would require us to shift the townhomes back, that would increase our costs to $250,000, but you would only be able to get 4 townhomes on the parcel. And then we're looking at costs. The cost estimates that they've given us for the vertical construction is about $100 a square foot. And we'd probably be looking at somewhere between 900 and 1,200 square foot townhomes in that neighborhood. So I want to take a look at this a little more, and we'll try to have something a little more formal for next month. Sure. That we can sort of discuss what potential next steps could be. One of the things that is important to note, this was done based on GIS. So the topography and things like that, if you would go forward, you would really need to go out and survey that to kind of field verify that. So, you know, we should take this with a little bit of a grain of salt.
Right. All right, well, thank you for the preliminary report. So next month, then, we'll have a formal presentation or formal report?
We can talk about what you want to see.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any new business or staff report?
The only thing under staff report, we did receive the $500,000 payment from the state for the St. Luke's IFIP grant that we serve as a pass-through. That was approved in our budget, and we will be cutting a check to St. Luke's. I just wanted to make you aware of that.
All right, thanks. Anybody else have anything for new business? All right, seeing none, next meeting will be Tuesday, September 17th, 8:15 here in this chambers.
Please.
Say it again, please.
Pardon?
The date again, please.
It'll be September 17th.
Thank you.
That is
You're
different from our normal
Sure.
schedule, so please
Right.
make note of that.
Yes, that's a week later.
2 weeks, actually.
Motion to adjourn.
2 weeks later. All right, thank you, Lori. Second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Adjourned. Thank you very much. On what?
Invitation for all of our normal days, against, just so I